going on, guys? So this is gonna be a new video, kind of more about the big picture of the spiritual side of Earth, humanity, Source, what's kind of really going on. Since it's dark, driving in the dark, might as well talk about our friends, the darkness, and who is that? What do they do? But first, I'm going to continuation on kind of what I was saying about Source a little in previous videos. So we are reflections of the one consciousness that is all there really is in the known infinity. There is really just one being, one consciousness. And this being is kind of playing with itself for eternity. So you can imagine it gets kind of bored. And it, wants to, have some fun. Like all beings with consciousness. The dogs, the humans, all the little animals that we play with, cats, all want to have a good time. Source is the same way. So yeah, as I said in the other one, he's refracted himself, made different versions of himself, split his consciousness with, archangels, which are like powerful co-creators, and then they've made regular angels, that is us, humans on Earth. Archangels can incarnate on Earth too, but it's extremely rare to either be one on Earth or to see one on Earth. There's only like 300 total archangels, and there's trillions of regular angels. So we are all mostly just angels. Some of us are created directly by Source. Most of us are just kind of the conscious offspring of the archangels. So why does Earth suck so much if Source is in charge of everything, and everything, we're all just reflections of Source? This is where it gets very interesting. So, as we know in school, it takes boring studying and, lessons and stuff like that to get through the school year, to graduate, to get an A, to go on to have summer break, right? You gotta put work in to get a reward. So this same concept goes with spiritual information. You cannot attain spiritual information unless you not only experience the lessons that there is to learn in the darkness, because then your mind won't be able to comprehend what's going on. You won't be ready for it. So there's a progression stage in this spiritual ascension, just like everything else we have. All right? So this progression stage is very fascinating. For us, you're in a human body on Earth right now. You have been in this process for a long time. Your consciousness has been around for at least a few million to billion years. At least. Because you can't get even a ticket for having a human body on Earth and have a human experience unless you've been a rock. You've been the consciousness of a rock. You've experienced that. You've experienced being a plant, having the consciousness of a plant. And then the animal kingdom and the human 3D kingdom is the same thing. Animals, 3D humans, we are the same thing. But then the difference comes when we get into the fourth dimension. So the fourth dimension is really what separates the animals from the angels. All right, this is where it's like fourth quarter crunch time. Like, are you gonna make it or not? Are you gonna win it or not? Obviously, if you don't get it, you get all of infinity to try again and get that new experience. But Earth is super special, you guys. This is no one else is incarnated besides if they've incarnated on Earth with their human body. So everyone else looks kind of like the freaky aliens we see in shows, but we get to look like we do humans, which is really cool. Don't want to get off track though. So, Source is like, all right, cool. We'll do Earth. We'll have make a really dope planet where everything really awesome. It'll be the center of the universe. It'll be like the biggest planet. It'll be full of all this cool stuff. It'll be really amazing. But we need souls to agree to go to it, because we can't have this experiment work, which is really what this is. This is an experiment that's going on Earth to see if souls can take the pressure and the pain of going from a 3D planet to a 5D planet. Okay? That's like going from super wartime to peacetime, but like feeling it all yourself. Kind of was a bad example, but so, and for our bodies to ascend as well, 3D bodies to 5D bodies. So we, a ton of us volunteer. We say, yeah, sure, we'll do it. A lot of us apparently were asked, and then there's some that are potentially kind of their occupation is doing this kind of stuff, called system busters, where they help to bust systems and help the continuation of the evolution and stop any kind of systematic manipulation of the people. So we're already, a lot of us have agreed. There are now human souls that were on Earth originally, that were kind of Earth souls, and they kind of started their whole evolutionary journey on Earth, and they have no experiences on other planets and stuff like that. So these are kind of the lower, kind of have a lower consciousness level, some compared to some of us star seeds, as we call it, which are like total, like, alien volunteers to help Earth. And there's billions of us. There's like 2 billion star seeds. All right, so there's more than that. There's a ton of us, which are aliens already living on Earth. So we got all these volunteers to come to Earth. Source can build planets whenever he wants. He built the Doe planet. And then, we started evolving on Earth. We had our first civilization. We were not in the same bodies. We were already in the 5th dimension. So that part, I'm just going to keep. So we were already in the 5th dimension. But since in the 5th dimension, time doesn't exist, the Source and the Archangels could see very clearly that dark forces will intervene. Dark agendaed beings that kind of like to do whatever they want, and they don't really like Source. They kind of just would rather, help themselves and go for war, power, greed, and these kind of things. So these armies are, traveling around the universe, just trying to be parasites and kind of do their evil things. And of course, they found Earth. They found Earth in its young stage. And they're like, wow, this planet is full of resources, and it is full of beings, these extremely powerful beings. And then the war started on Earth. So this war with these certain beings that did take over Earth has been going on for billions of years. But they brought this to Earth. They brought the war to Earth, but of course we did predict this. That's why we are already assigned and volunteered to come to Earth. Well, we were already ready to go. So there was a very long war. This was not an easy takeover. The beings on Earth originally were very powerful. They were already in the 5th dimension. They had spiritual powers. They had physical powers. They could move things with their mind. They could shoot out energy balls and stuff like that. They got the energy, solar energy and celestial energy from giant trees that were like a mile up in the sky, massive trees that harnessed universal energy. They had ways of meditating. They had portals. They had crystal energy. They were super advanced. And these two main societies at first were the Lemurian Society and the Atlantean Society. There were a few others, but those were the big ones. And they were living in peace. They were like one of the alien planets today. But then this giant war started. These beings came down, started attacking. And at first we held them off. We held them off. It was pretty good. And then they started realizing that we're getting all our energy from these giant trees. So they started just bombing these trees like crazy. Bombing the trees like crazy. Bombing every kind of big energy structure around. They gave us this energetic power. Until eventually we lost our powers, and our consciousness level sank into fear. And that's how the modern human was created. Then there was a lot of genetic manipulation to keep us in this low state of consciousness where we can be easily manipulated by these super evil beings. And then we have been living in this kind of aftermath of this war that I'm talking about since then. And now we all, Atlantis, all right, that doesn't exist, actually, yeah, that existed, and it was actually the one of the coolest societies ever. And ancient Greeks talk about going to Atlantis. I think like philosophers have even talked about it, and a lot of their information they got came from visiting some places in Atlantis. But that was like remnants of it. It was totally gone by the time of ancient Greece. But then, so after they took over, they sunk us down to 5D. Our bodies didn't have any kind of power anymore. Our minds were in fear. We were like, holy crap, what's going on? We were in fear. We lost our connection to source. So then we were very easy to manipulate. There was a lot of breeding with the females. These aliens just kind of bred with all the females. The men were just not even they couldn't do anything. We were just completely helpless against these beings. And then they started kind of creating the New Earth system like they do on a lot of other planets. And they created this new system on Earth where financial problems and starvation and lack of food and absolutely zero spiritual information, all just religious stuff, which is based on, just religious stuff. They could kind of make it up. Every religion these guys have influenced. So all of our human history is actually all that period between after they invaded the first time and now. So, all these wars we think about, all this stuff we think humans did, it was kind of all manipulated by these beings. Just kind of make a story up of how evil humans are, how bad humans are, how greedy we are, how vicious we are, and how grateful we are to be in a society where people aren't killing each other today. So they know exactly what they were doing when they were writing our history books, and they were creating the history that we talk about. And, so then fast forward to today. Well, first, let me just pause that, take a nice deep breath, realize that all we need to be doing is really breathing. That's our main concern. And, I'm going to cut the video off there. It's getting a little long, but I'm going to start the next one up. It's going to get more into this.